Also known as David North, Agent Zero was a mutant famously known for his appearance as a skilled marksman in the X-Men Wolverine films. He was known to be William Stryker's second-in-command, and X-Men Origins Wolverine explored his story as he served under Stryker and appeared as a secondary villain. However, Agent Zero's first appearance dates back to an X-Men comic issued in 1992, where he was first introduced as Maverick. Over time, Maverick's story arcs expanded and he assumed the identity of Agent Zero in the Weapon X series. He was also known for his ability to absorb kinetic energy without suffering from any harm. And today we will explore Agent Zero's anatomy and tell you all about his powers and abilities. Before we go into our video, we do have a small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Now let's begin. Exploring the history of Agent Zero. Agent Zero, or Christopher Nord, was born as a mutant in East Germany with the ability to absorb kinetic energy. As the years passed, Christopher fought in the war against the communist regime and started to work alongside a West German Black Ops unit, Cell 6. During a mission, Christopher was severely injured by a rival assassin, and he then sought treatment for it when he came across a nurse, Janetta Barcellini. He soon fell for her without realizing that she was a spy trying to get information about the inner workings of Cell 6. Christopher ended up killing her during a fight, and Janetta revealed that she was pregnant with his child as she took her last breath. After losing his love, Christopher was ridden with guilt when he realized he had just killed Janetta and their unborn child. He channeled his feelings towards becoming a better spy and soon gained a reputation as one of the best covert operatives in Germany. His actions caught the eye of the CIA, who offered him a job in Team X. Christopher gladly accepted his offer and changed his name to David North as he started working alongside Team X. While serving as part of this team, David was a part of several experiments where he was given false memory implants and also exposed to Logan's DNA. This helped him attain a slight healing factor, while the other mutant subjects gained other powers and then came together to form Team X. The team eventually disbanded, but the members were then captured by Weapon X so that they could be experimented on. During this incident, Logan went on a rampage and stirred up enough trouble for all the others to be able to escape the facility. While David escaped, he temporarily lost his powers and started working as a mercenary named Maverick. What was his role in the X-Men movies? While the X-Men comics explored David's story arc when he joined Team X and eventually lost his powers as a result of the Weapon X program, the X-Men movies solely focused on his time while working as a part of William Stryker's Team X. Portrayed by Daniel Henney, Agent Zero was first introduced on screen in X-Men Origins Wolverine Prologue, wherein he served in Team X alongside Chris Bradley, Victor Creed, James Howlett, and many others. Eventually, Team X disbanded after several mutants parted ways with Stryker, but Agent Zero and Victor Creed remained the only ones to stay back. In the next film, X-Men Origins Wolverine, we learnt that almost 6 years had passed since Team X had disbanded. However, Agent Zero and Victor Creed had stayed with Stryker, and Zero soon accompanied Stryker to visit Logan. They needed to tell Logan about Bradley and Wade's deaths, and Stryker first struck up a conversation with Logan and asked him if he still remembered Agent Zero. While Logan replied by asking if Zero was still shooting people first and interrogating them later, Agent Zero appeared before him and revealed his hidden gun. He skillfully shot Logan's cigar out of his mouth and then asked him if he was still chewing on cheap cigars. After this eventful reunion, Stryker proposed a job for Logan, who graciously turned it down by stating that he already had one. Zero took this as another chance to taunt him, and he asked Logan if he got paid well as a lumberjack. Logan retaliated by establishing that he got paid well at a job where he no longer had to kill people. As Zero poked fun at him and asked if he missed killing, Stryker had had enough of the bickering and ordered Zero to return to the car. After a couple of days, Wolverine underwent a procedure where he had adamantium grafted onto his skeleton, and he then broke out of the Weapon X facility. Agent Zero was then ordered to find him, and he tracked Logan to a barn where he was staying alongside an elderly couple. Zero killed the couple and even destroyed the barn in the hopes that it would draw Wolverine out, but Wolverine managed to escape on a bike. Agent Zero pursued him in a helicopter, but Wolverine destroyed the helicopter, leaving Zero trapped and injured. As Wolverine approached him, Zero remarked on how innocent beings kept dying around him, and this angered Wolverine to the extent that he ignited a trail of fuel with his claws and blew the helicopter up. As Wolverine walked away, Agent Zero failed to escape from the helicopter and sadly met his demise. What powers and abilities did he show in the movies? Agent Zero was primarily known for his superhuman accuracy, and he could use a wide range of weapons and have perfect aim with each one. He was renowned as a sharpshooter and a sniper and was well versed in using several different firearms. In the movies, there were many instances where Agent Zero displayed his impressive abilities, and we saw it when he aimed at Logan's cigar without even grazing Logan in the slightest. During the Nigerian mission, he killed many guards by shooting at them while moving past them and reloading his gun simultaneously. He killed the Hudsons by aiming his sniper rifle at them from far away, and he once had shot Logan in the head, but of course Logan survived due to his adamantium skull. Besides being a lethal marksman, Agent Zero was super agile, and he surpassed the best athletes on Earth when it came to coordination and balancing skills. He had enhanced reflexes, and he could move fast enough to shoot multiple opponents before they'd even realised what was happening. Agent Zero also didn't have a detectable scent, which served an advantage whenever he wanted to evade Wolverine. How good is his healing factor, and how does it help him? Agent Zero's most prominent power is his ability to absorb the kinetic energy generated by any impact without letting it injure him. In this way, he could absorb the energy from blasts, physical attacks, or even the impact of falling from a great height without getting hurt. In the rare case that he got injured, Agent Zero had a regenerative healing factor that enabled him to heal from any injuries quickly. He was artificially given this ability after he joined the Weapon X program, and in some ways, we can say that Agent Zero borrowed Logan's healing factor from his DNA. This regenerative factor made him immune to human ailments, diseases, and toxins. It also slowed his aging, making him appear much younger than his real age. He sadly lost his healing factor after being exposed to the legacy virus, and he then had lots of scars on his face that refused to go away. His healing factor burned out while fighting the virus, leading to his death. However, he later returned to life after being resuscitated by Elena Ivanova, and he was later forced to become a part of the Weapon X program again. As a part of Weapon X, Agent Zero regained his healing factor and kinetic absorption abilities. He also gained new powers that enabled him to undo his opponent's healing besides healing himself. His fingertips carried a corrosive enzyme that would reverse his opponent's self-healing process, leaving them in more pain than before. How did the legacy virus affect him? After losing his powers, Maverick soon fell victim to the legacy virus that was created in the distant future to wipe out the mutant population. The virus had a dreadful impact on Maverick's body and left scars on his face, but it also surprisingly brought back his powers. Maverick then approached Wolverine and asked him to kill him, but Wolverine refused to do so. Maverick then resorted to traveling to a safe house in search of treatment for the virus. While trying to save himself, Maverick asked for Wolverine's help in rescuing Deadpool. He was also attacked by Slayback's group at a safe house in Manhattan, and Maverick decided to escape to the X-Mansion. He revealed that he and Deadpool were especially targeted by Slayback's group because they gained powers from Wolverine's DNA template, and he further warned Wolverine about the possibility of them targeting him next. Meanwhile, Deadpool underwent several experimental procedures in the hopes of creating a cure for the legacy virus, but Beast later revealed that he couldn't find a cure. Maverick continued to help other mutants who were attacked by this virus, and saved a teenage mutant named Chris Bradley from being attacked by the Friends of Humanity in New York. However, Friends of Humanity refused to accept defeat, and they later firebombed Chris's home, after which Maverick took it upon himself to relocate Chris's family to Florida and help them settle down. After ensuring that Chris was doing okay, Maverick departed for Canada and soon came across mutant telepath Elena Ivanova, who asked for his help in tracking Sabretooth. It turned out Sabretooth had killed Elena's mother while working for Weapon X, and she wanted revenge. However, Elena's conversation with Maverick was interrupted by an attack by Omega Red, who wished to get his hands on the carbonadium synthesizer. Maverick and Elena refused to give up on the device, and John Wraith soon showed up at the scene to help them get rid of Omega Red. The three of them started traveling together, but Maverick's condition kept worsening and the virus finally killed him. Elena then used her powers to resuscitate him, and he was surprisingly cured when he returned to life. All of Maverick's scars and wounds healed in no time, and he soon discovered that his powers had returned to a more powerful form. All the implants from the Weapon X program were wiped from his memory, and Maverick soon learned that the virus had some residual impact on him. His powers were enhanced, but they had become quite inconsistent, and Maverick was himself pretty scared of them at times. As the story progressed, the trio faced trouble in the form of Ivan Pushkin, a Russian mob boss who wanted to capture them. While dealing with this threat, Chris ran away from Florida to return to his girlfriend in New York, and the Friends of Humanity targeted him once again. Maverick and the others went to his rescue, and Elena used her abilities to trick the Friends of Humanity and Chris's girlfriend into believing that he had died. After dealing with so many threats, Elena and Maverick became quite close to each other and even ended up getting intimate. The next day, Elena asked Maverick to help deal with Sabretooth, but he was against the idea. Elena departed on her own to find Sabretooth, and Maverick felt guilty, so he soon followed her. He found her gravely injured after an altercation with Sabretooth, who was still lingering at the scene. Maverick stopped Sabretooth from killing Elena and later took her to Chris's family in the hopes that they would look after her. After ensuring that Elena was safe, Maverick redirected his attention to Ivan Pushkin, who somehow managed to capture him. While Pushkin hoped to make him work for him, Maverick freed himself and escaped while ruining Pushkin's attempt to steal AIM's weaponry. At the end of the Legacy Virus story arc, Maverick fought with Sickle, who gouged his left eye out and left him alone in the Swiss Alps. What eventually happened to Agent Zero? After the Legacy Virus story arc, Agent Zero was forced to become a part of the new Weapons X program, leaving him with no option but to work for the enemy. This made him feel quite guilty, and he even purposefully tried to sabotage a few missions, at least until he lost his powers. After the events of M-Day, Agent Zero was among the many mutants that lost their unique abilities. However, he was caught in the middle of X-Men drama. He then retired to a center for former mutants and once again began referring to himself as Maverick in an attempt to learn more about the carbonadium synthesizer. Maverick later stole Weapon X files, sold them in the black market, and eventually returned to working as a mercenary. He was hired by an intelligence agency to kill Dr. Doom, and Agent Zero fully embraced the mercenary life after turning down citizenship in Krakoa during Dawn of X. However, this didn't turn out to be the best decision, as he was eventually captured by an underground auction program in Modrabur that wiped out his mind and left him defenseless until Wolverine came to his rescue. Marvelous verdict. To sum it all up, Agent Zero has had quite a chaotic story arc, especially in Weapon X and Wolverine storylines, and he appears in slightly different forms in the varying comics or films. At the end of the day, he is often linked with Wolverine, Team X or the Weapon X program, and his impressive powers and abilities make him an unforgettable mutant with a widespread presence across the X-Men universe. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.